everybody, this is Isha Snehal and you're watching Snehalji 101. Welcome back. A very happy new year to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful time celebrating the holidays with friends and family, and I'm sure every one of us is super grateful to be in 2021. Can you imagine? We have already crossed 2020. Can you imagine? The year that we were waiting for, the longest time, has finally arrived. Wow, thank God for that. So coming back to why I made this video, I wanted to talk about research as a medical student and as a beginner. So I've had my own share of confusion and doubts when I started out into research as a medical student, and before that I had no experience whatsoever in research. So let me share with you my experience. I started out when I was in my second year of med school. I tried to reach out to people I knew who would do research, especially the medical students, my colleagues, people who were senior as in postgrads, and also a lot of teachers and professors who were into research and who were known across my med school that these are the people who do research, right? I reached out to them first, and they gave me suggestions as to what are the good topics to think of, what topics would fit into my schedule, and what topics will be doable as a beginner. And that's how I even met my mentor in med school, who helped me through the whole process. And it is definitely new, and you're going to learn a lot of different skills when you are doing research or starting out into research. For example, just drafting a proposal for the ethics committee to approve is a different task altogether. You need to know exactly what to write, how to write. The methods is another different thing that you will see that you really don't see in other forms of writing. And then results, and how to think about or go about results, what kind of softwares there are in the market, what kind of statistics you use in research, and all these things, right? They are going to be absolutely different from the medical science. They are a different genre altogether. And it's fun to learn something new every single day when you're on to a different topic. You will learn a lot about your own topic itself, much more than your peers. So it's a fun journey, and I think everybody should have that experience in med school. In fact, the earlier the better, right? My topic for research was studying about cerebral palsy. I studied the quality of life in children who were affected with cerebral palsy, and I studied it by using a questionnaire. We had to even translate a questionnaire into Hindi, which is the native language of the place where I was conducting the research. So it was a very big task, I should say. It was very detailed, and there were a lot of things that I had to do before I even could get accepted by my ethics committee. Having said that, you can use different kinds of research tools, not just questionnaires, but sometimes things are very direct. They're more quantitative than qualitative. There are different kinds of research, right? There can be cross-sectional research, which is like a snapshot in time. When you have very less time to evaluate things, and when you want to really see or evaluate data in that time frame, in the present, that is more like a cross-section kind of research. A prospective study is when you have an X amount of information and you want to derive information from future. So you will just follow those patients in the future to determine what effect or whether they would develop that disease, or what happens in that disease process in those patients, or in those your sample size. Well, I can go on and on about it, but the most common kind of research that people do is cross-sectional, because it's easier, it's shorter. Or a lot of people also do retrospective study, which is like you already had this data in the past and you're just going to extract that and see from this point onwards back in time. So that also kind of takes lesser time compared to prospective trials. Usually prospective trials and prospective studies take about anywhere between 10 to 20 years, sometimes 5 years, 10 years, depends. So medical students or residents for that matter usually don't really get involved in those long kind of researches. They do, but like if you want to fit it in or probably bring it up in your CV or actually see quick results, people go for cross-sectional studies, retrospective studies, etc. Moving on, how do you select a mentor? A lot of people say that, oh my gosh, there are so many teachers, so many professors in your corporation or in your organization. How do you go about selecting that one person who would really help you out? So you have to see what is their reputation in terms of research. You have to see how published they are. Having said that, that alone doesn't determine a good mentor. The second important thing about mentors is how available they are for you. Would they be able or willing to help you in small things? Because it's frustrating from the standpoint of a person who has done so much research, who's so experienced. It must be frustrating to explain every single thing about research. Like basically they're holding your hands to make you learn to walk. So is somebody ready to do that? Do they really enjoy the teaching part of research? And that you will not find from ResearchGate, or you will not find from PubMed. You will find that out from people who worked with that mentor. So you have to find, at least shortlist a bunch of mentors for yourself and ask around people who have worked with them. See what were their experiences and go from there. The next important thing is, are you interested in the topics they are interested in? For example, if somebody is interested in stroke and you are interested in epilepsy, you must find a mentor who is into epilepsy, right? Because if they're interested in stroke and they want to move or propel their careers towards stroke, it'll be a mismatch. You cannot ask them to do a research in epilepsy. That'll be very silly, right? So make sure that you're actually interested in the field they are the experts in. The next thing is how flexible they are, because a lot of times during your med school and during your residency you will be crazy busy and you don't want to end up not being able to meet and talk with your mentor, and you need to. So make sure that are they flexible? Are they willing to teach? Are they on the same page as you in terms of topics? Are they published enough that they will be able to tell you the nitty-gritties and important details that you need for your ethics committee approvals or writing the paper or submitting to different journals, right? So the next thing is, how do you select the topic? It's a very difficult question because, to be very honest with you, as a med student, you know nothing. And that's exactly why you have a mentor who's actually studied so much, who has so much experience, clinical experience, theoretical experience. I'm sure you will have your own interests, right? Like you might want to explore something that seems very attractive to you. Like, for example, some people like Parkinson's disease, or somebody likes cognitive neurology. Some people like more vascular neurology, or I'm talking all the neuro stuff, but in medicine in general, some people like to talk about qualitative research, like finding out how people feel about their disease processes or the disease, the way it affects them. Some people want to find out how the treatment has been working for them, how they feel about the treatment access, etc. These are the economics part of the health crisis, and there can be so many aspects to the same disease, like you cannot even count. And really, that is a discussion you really want with your mentor. Even if the topics are same, you might want to have some sort of an outlook towards what kind of research you want to do. Do you want to do qualitative research? Do you want to do quantitative research? Like, you have this X amount of quantity in blood, you're just taking that data down there. So you should open your mind, think about what kind of things you like, and discuss that with your mentor. In summary, I talked about my own experience as in med school. Then I talked about how to find the right mentor for your research, when to start in med school, and how to find a good topic. In my next video, I will talk about exactly what are the steps involved in research, how we draft proposals at a med student or as a beginner, which are the kind of research topics that need or need not need an institutional ethics committee approval, and we'll be back. So till then, have a happy new year week, I should say, and sayonara. Signing out.